The world is going through an important period of economic resets. Points that were considered consolidated are now subject to possible review. The world based on free trade and free movement of capitals, in addition to the institutional framework built from the Second World War, are now under review. This was already a movement that became progressively visible after the 2008 economic financial crisis, but that became evident after the pandemic and the war in Ukraine. In this environment, topics such as alternatives to world finance based on the US dollar or deglobalization began to enter the agenda. Global production chains are in a shortening phase, and nowadays many talk about the regionalization of international production chains. It's a scenario in which the BRICS have to review their initial impulse and disassociate themselves from a globalizing perspective that at some point prevailed in the group. It is time to think about political solidarity for future development strategies, but with more domestic and regional production. Technological exchanges, innovative finance, trade in national currencies, construction of new financial mechanisms, but above all, the search for a new discussion on development, which privileges aspects of people's interests, the sovereignty of countries, the defense of the environment, quality rather than quantity, and are essential in this new phase. We also know that the peoples and countries that have benefited from the status quo prevailing until now will make enormous efforts to ensure that the situation in which they have obvious advantage over the rest of humanity does not change. In the case of Brazil, in addition to the changes in the international system, the country has gone through a complicated process in the last 8 years, socially and politically, but also in its economy. The regrouped and radicalized conservative forces operated towards an increase in poverty, unemployment, a reduction in rights, in short, an economic, social, and political setback. This consumed the strength of the Brazilian people and social organizations, placed in a historical defensive situation from which we are only now trying to get out, consuming our strengths even for a more active participation in the international spaces. We are not at a simple juncture, and the changes that are required have multiple dimensions. As people and organizations of the BRICS countries, we have to expand our solidarity and common work to reflect on this new world, which is our challenge at the moment, but which is also an opportunity for us.